What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new Hijomeatman news video. Today we've got episode 3 of our MotoGP 2020 season so far. Little mini series with KTM, probably the most surprising team of 2020, the most to talk about, or at least in my personal opinion. They're definitely the standout team for me, and we'll get onto the reasons why in a little bit, but we're going to kick it off with the rider standings. Talk about the riders. Obviously KTM have 4 riders, 2 teams, the Red Bull Factory KTM and then the Tech 3 Red Bull KTM. So kicking it off with the riders, we have Brad Binder leads the way in the KTM family. P4 in the World Championship, you know, quite high for a rookie. Obviously his first season, doing pretty well with 49 points, and obviously that 1 win in the Bruno Grand Prix, where well, that was just an overall great ride for him. Great tyre choice, good consistent pace, and definitely dominated that Grand Prix once he took the lead. Could have been a Red Bull KTM P1, P2, but unfortunately Paul Espargaro, who we'll get onto in a little bit, messed it all up. But yeah, Brad Binder leading the way in the KTM family. Obviously the rookie of, one of the rookies of this season, and he is doing pretty well. We have done a video on him, you know, talking about how his riding style really does suit this KTM bike to perfection, really. Well, suits MotoGP in general. We all really kind of knew he was going to go well. Everyone kind of expected it, and he kicked it off well, pretty well. Obviously in Jerez, he did have a little bit of a couple incidents and mistakes, but his actual pace itself was good enough for a podium, possibly, in those opening rounds. And obviously Juan Bruno, very good race from him, and Austria, he also got some pretty good results. So Brad Binder, definitely a rider to be looking out for in the future. I think he's just going to get better and better, and it's pretty cool to see, you know, Brad Binder up there. You know, a South African winning in MotoGP is obviously a pretty rare sight to see, so it's definitely something new and exciting. Next up in the KTM rider family, we have Miguel Oliveira in P9 in the World Championship, 43 points to his name, so he's only you know, not far behind Brad Binder, with 1 win, and that was in Austria, the Styrian GP. A great little last lap battle there, and he took the win on the final corner. Good race from him. You know, he's also been a strong rider this season, but has been a little bit unlucky with some incidents. Obviously, if you remember in Jerez or the Andalusian GP, one of the two, we did see Brad Binder and Miguel Oliveira come together into turn 1, which was pretty unfortunate, and then we've seen Miguel Oliveira come and collide with Paul Espargaro also in Austria. So he's definitely had some unlucky Grand Prix, but he has also shown that he's a pretty quick rider on this KTM. Has a very good style also, which is another good thing about KTM. All the different riders, they all have different riding styles, and they all can go well on the bike. So that's also, you know, a big plus for the KTM riders. But yeah, Miguel Oliveira obviously took that win in the Styrian GP in that final corner. Everyone went pretty wild. First Portuguese rider to win in a pretty long time, and well, not a long time. It was the first time that a Portuguese rider had won in the Premier class. So a little bit of history being made in that weekend. A very special weekend for him, and he's definitely also going to be a rider to look out for in Misano and onwards, because you know, he's very quick. He has shown that he has really good pace, but he has been a little bit unlucky. And moving on, we have Paul Espargaro, P10 in the World Championship, 35 points, 0 wins, and the 1 podium in the Styrian GP, which he should have probably have won if the team hadn't have gave him a, you know, the small 0.0 gap on the board. He did have 0.3. He didn't really need to defend into turn 3 on that final lap, but he did, and it did cost him precious time, which he could have possibly had, and he could have maybe have won the Grand Prix, but it wasn't to be. But that was his first podium, but he should definitely have had more to his name. Obviously the Austrian Grand Prix race 1, he should have probably been on the podium there. Obviously Bruno, he should have possibly have been on the podium. You would have thought it would have been a KTM P1 and P2 there. Whether it would have been Paul Espargaro to win or Brad Binder, who knows? Both of them were very quick in that Grand Prix, but Paul Espargaro, has crashed out, having that collision with Zarco. So, he's definitely a rider which should have more points to his name, but he does commit errors when he gets stressed and flustered on the track, and he does kind of push a little bit over the limit and then does end up crashing out of the Grand Prix. So he should definitely have more points to his name, but it isn't to be. So 35 points, P10 in the World Championship, obviously moving on to the Repsol Honda team next year, which is going to be interesting to see. His riding style should suit that bike, but whether he will get confidence rapid or whether he will take his time or maybe be another Lorenzo and just not like the bike at all, we don't know. But it's definitely going to be exciting to see. Whether he regrets it or not, who knows? Obviously KTM, they're finally being competitive, and probably next season they're going to have an even better bike since they can, modify the engines and stuff. So Paul Espargaro, maybe he regrets it, maybe he doesn't, who knows? But it's going to be interesting to see whether he can add more podiums to his name for this season. He's a very quick rider, especially in qualifying, and if he can just not crash, he would be able to stack up quite a lot of points. And rounding off the KTM family, we have Iker Lecuona, P17 in the World Championship, 13 points, and obviously 0 wins, 0 podiums, but he's coming. He's getting good, he's getting better. Obviously, he finished in the top 10 in the Austrian Grand Prix, so, he's getting there. He's finding some more confidence. He did crash out of the first couple Grand Prix, Hervé Poncharal, his boss, wasn't too impressed by the whole situation, but he has kind of got his act together, I guess you could say, and he did do some pretty good races in Austria. So if he can continue that kind of, momentum and those kind of results, he should be okay, possibly, to get another contract, because this rider was Hervé Poncharal's choice. I don't think KTM, I think they wanted maybe someone else, but Hervé chose this rider for his team, which is obviously kind of understandable. So I guess he just believes in Iker Lecuona, and it's going to be interesting, obviously, to see whether, Iker can deliver, whether he can continue this momentum, get better and better, and grow as a rider, and maybe fight for a podium in the future, who knows. But that's all the KTM riders, where they stand in the World Championship. Now moving on to the Constructors, where they obviously sit in P3, 82 points, 2 wins and 3 podiums. So obviously a massive step forward compared to previous seasons. This bike this year, the new chassis, the new aero, the new engine, everything about this new bike is just so much better than the previous ones that KTM had. And Dani Pedrosa obviously has helped out massively. And obviously the fact that they had concessions was obviously a bit of a bonus, being able to do more testing and have a rider of Dani Pedrosa's caliber testing your bike, telling you what works, what doesn't. It obviously has helped them out massively. And obviously they did pull out a Moto 2 and Moto 3, they pulled out of them, so they just went full on with MotoGP, full on investment, and it's worked out. It's worked out brilliantly for them. 2 wins and 3 podiums, with more to come for sure. And it's just amazing to see, another manufacturer fighting at the front. It's always a bonus for us fans and, everyone involved in MotoGP, seeing all these different manufacturers being able to fight for a win. If you compare this kind of sport, to F1, where, Monza was a bit of a random podium, but, all the other races, Mercedes are going to win the race. You don't even need to watch it. You just know that a Mercedes is going to win. It's, there's larger gaps between all the teams in that way. As you go to MotoGP, we've got Ducati, Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM, Honda, albeit Honda are struggling this year, but we've got Aprilia also, who are also struggling a little bit. But we have all these different manufacturers that are pretty close together on pace, so it's definitely exciting, and hopefully KTM can stay up there and continue on fighting at the front. They've also made a bike, like I said before, that works with each rider's style, which are all pretty different between them. If you compare, Brad Binder's style with Oliveira, or you compare Paul and Iker Lecuona, it's all pretty interesting. You know, it's pretty different styles, and the bike seems to work well. So it's something which other teams don't manage to do. You know, Honda, for example, if you don't ride that bike like Marc Marquez, you're not really going to be able to win. So that's just a plus for KTM in general there. And in the teams championship, we have the Red Bull KTM in P4 with 84 points, 1 win and the 2 podiums, and then the Tech 3 team in P7 with 56 points and the 1 win, and then obviously the podium from that win. So that's pretty good from them. Obviously just massive step forward compared to last year, and obviously they've maybe jumped up an extra spot since Marc Marquez isn't there to carry Honda. So it's just a bonus in general for them, and it's good to see that KTM are fighting at the front. They did say when they joined MotoGP those 3 years ago maybe or more now, they did say that in the future they would be winning, and they've won 2 races so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how the season pans out, and whether KTM can get more wins or not. Obviously Misano last year, we had Paul Espargaro on the front row in qualifying, if I remember correctly. So it's going to be interesting to see if KTM go well there, and see if they can just rack up some more wins, more podiums to their name. It's all very exciting. Make sure you leave it down in the comments your opinion on everything about KTM and what you think they're going to be doing next season. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more content as always, and I'll see you with some brand new videos very soon.